I'm sitting here on the steps of the United States Capitol building, and a friend and I have just finished over 3 hours walking the grounds and being involved, really, from an observer standpoint, to what was called a March for Equality in Washington. It was to promote gay and lesbian and transgender and bisexual issues. And it's right here on these steps that as you walk up, you go into the place that the laws are made. We have three branches: the judicial, the executive, and the legislative. Here's where the legislative branch really does their work. And I'd like to just finish up here my day on these Capitol grounds by reading a bit from a book I wrote a number of years ago, about a year ago I should say, called Here's the Deal. And in this book, I shared at the end some things that would be a parting shot or closing thoughts for us today as we leave this March for Equality. Just stop and think. What are the implications of gay marriage, gay adoptions, and other gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender initiatives for you? I mean, let's bring it home, out of the theoretical into the practical. Here's some real scenarios for you, your children, and your future. Do you want educators in your child's school discussing and showing textbook photos and DVDs of same-sex couples as normal in required sensitivity training classes? Do you want same-sex neighbors and their children inviting your children to come over and play and join them maybe for a sleepover at their house? How would you handle your daughter bringing home her date, a young fella who was raised in a home with two lesbian parents? If you own a business, could you afford health care benefits for 4 or 5 people that declare themselves married in a same-sex or group marriage arrangement? What would you do if your young daughter went to a public restroom and came out rattled because there was a man inside who, upon inquiry, stated he was transgender, a person of one sex who perceived themselves to be of the other sex? Or what would you do if, let's say you were a woman, you were taking a shower after your aerobics class, and you found a man showering next to you? This happened. Actually, in my hometown of Montgomery County, Maryland, they passed a law in 2007, as did the entire state of Colorado, opening all public accommodations to transgendered people so as not to be discriminatory and allow, for situations such as the above. The governor of Colorado signed it into law while a referendum was called in Montgomery County due to some of the concerned citizens. And lastly, how would you feel if your beloved pastor or rabbi made comments in a sensitive way, yet opposed to homosexuality, and was placed in jail for hate speech pronouncement viewed as intolerant and discriminatory? Some people say these are horror stories, this isn't real, this stuff really doesn't happen, but we could go on and on at what's happening. And I thought it was interesting. I closed out my book by saying that, Dr. Laura Schlesinger, her entire TV show was canceled because she had the audacity to suggest that homosexuality is a biological abnormality. We want to love people. Jesus loved people. He was a friend of tax collectors and sinners, and in a winsome, charitable, kind way, we want to build bridges and reach out to all people, gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, whoever. But we cannot compromise. The Bible speaks of a day where it's going to be darkness called light, light darkness, and where the road is going to narrow. It's narrowing today, and I'm challenging you to stay informed, to teach your children, to be engaged in the political process, to keep a winsome and charitable attitude towards all, but never compromise on these issues that affect you, your family, your children, your future, and the future of our nation. May God bless America.